Olawale walked into one of his uncompleted building projects very early in the morning to inspect it. As he entered, he saw something shocking. It was a girl in her 20s on the mat, shivering and looking pale. Olawale and his assistant, Deji, ran up to her. "Who are you? What is wrong with you? What are you doing there?" he asked her. But she looked so weak, and she only muttered, "Help me, please help me." With the help of his personal assistant, Olawale rushed the young girl to the hospital. At the hospital, the doctor walked up to Olawale. "It is nothing serious, it is just malaria, and she will be fine in no time," he said. "Can I see her now?" Olawale asked. "Sure," the doctor replied. The girl on the hospital bed looked better than she was when she was brought in. "I hope you are better now." She nodded with a smile. "What is your name? Why were you sleeping there? And where are your parents?" he asked, looking curious. "My name is Tolani," she said, trying to sit upright. "I am an orphan. After my parents passed away and my aunt threw me out of her house, and I had nowhere else to go. That is why you saw me sleeping in the uncompleted building." "What? So how do you feed?" Olawale asked, looking furious. "I hawk during the day," Tolani said. "That place you were sleeping is dangerous, especially for a lady, and it is not conducive for anyone to live in," Olawale added. "If you don't mind, will you live with me?" "Live with you?" Tolani muttered. "Yes, live with me," Olawale said. Yes, I will live with you," she said, smiling and full of life again, and she was discharged a few days later. As they approached Olawale's mansion, Tolani was wowed and amazed at the sight of the big and luxurious mansion. "Sir, your home is beautiful," Tolani complimented. "Thank you, but my name is Olawale. I am not a sir," he said with a smile. Then he showed her the room. "You mean this is my new space?" she said as she sat on the bed while running her hands through the soft duvet. "This big bedroom and fine bathroom are all mine?" "Thank you, sir." "Oh, thank you, Olawale." Days after settling in, Tolani walked up to Olawale, who was sitting in the living room. "I would love to have a word with you," Tolani said. "Sure, you can sit," Olawale replied. "Thank you," she said as she sat. "Since I came to this house, I have not seen any domestic staff, your wife, or even your children." Olawale laughed as she thought, "Okay, I am not married. Talk more about having children. I have a girlfriend though. As for domestic staff, they only come around once in a while to clean because I am a very busy person and I am hardly available. You should give me your CV. I could talk to some of my friends. I didn't even finish secondary school because my aunts couldn't pay for my exams," Tolani said with a sad look. Olawale sighed. "I can cook, clean and run errands for you," Tolani added. "You speak so well that one would think you graduated. For that reason, you are hired. But you still have to go back to school. We will talk about that later." "Thank you, Olawale," Tolani said, sounding so grateful. A few days later, Olawale told Tolani, "My mother and girlfriend would be visiting for a week to meet for the first time. Please put everything for them to enjoy their stay," Olawale added. One fateful morning, Olawale was in his study when his assistant Deji dashed him. "Sir, we have a problem," he said, handing him a brown envelope. As Olawale collected the envelope, his hand trembled and his heart raced as he tried opening it, wondering what could be inside. He brought out the contents of the envelope. It was the wedding picture of his girlfriend. "What?" he shouted as he tore the pictures. "She's a married woman? What do I tell my parents? They will be here in a week. If I don't present my woman to my mother, I won't get the company and my inheritance. What do I do now?" he asked his assistant Deji. "Sir, we can hire someone to act as your girlfriend for the time being and pay them handsomely. And you think that would work?" Olawale asked Deji. "Yes, it's what people do nowadays," Olawale agreed. The first person Deji brought didn't fit the description of what Olawale's parents would like. The second person talks too much and asked for lots of food as if she were there for an eating competition. The third person tried stealing the phone on the stool beside her during the interview. All this made Olawale angry and furious. "My parents will be here tomorrow. What do we do? This isn't working," he said to his assistant. I have an idea, sir. I don't know if you would like it. What if we use Tolani? She is kind and respectful and fits the description of what your mother would like. Well, I never thought of that. Do you think she would agree to do it? Olawale asked. Never say never, Deji said smiling. Olawale went to the kitchen to talk to Tolani about his ordeal and she agreed immediately. No problem, Olawale. It is fine by me. You have helped me in the past. I will do it. Olawale sighed, feeling relieved. They both swung into action. They changed Tolani's wardrobe, moved her things to Olawale's room, and got everything she needed to make it look real. The next day, Olawale's mother arrived. Where is the girl you won't stop talking about? His mother, Mrs. Afolabi, asked. Olawale called out to Tolani, Babe, my love, my mother is here. Tolani came out of the kitchen smiling. Good afternoon, ma. My name is Tolani. I am so delighted to meet you, ma. Thank you, my daughter. You are beautiful and respectful, Mrs. Afolabi complimented, smiling. I like her. I love her. You have done well, my son, Mrs. Afolabi added. At the dining, Mrs. Afolabi couldn't stop looking at Tolani. Mother, I made your favorite, egusi with pounded yam, Tolani said with a smile. Thank you, my daughter. My son made the right choice. How did you two meet? Because I know my son is too busy for a relationship, Mrs. Afolabi asked. Olawale and Tolani looked at each other and coughed. Mother, we can talk about this later. You are not leaving today. Okay now, I can't wait to hear it though, Mrs. Afolabi replied. At night, Tolani slept on the bed while Olawale slept on the couch in his bedroom. Olawale's mother enjoyed spending time with Tolani in the kitchen, telling her how she met her husband and how her youthful days went. They behaved like mother and daughter. Olawale was happy his plan was going well, but his mother noticed the cracks in their relationship, like not spending time together during weekends, but shrugged it off. Before leaving for work in the morning, Olawale would kiss Tolani and hug her tightly in front of his mother, who would grin from ear to ear. Tolani and Olawale were already falling for each other. They both wished this act was real. Olawale and Tolani were counting down to 1 week his mother promised to spend, but his mother shocked them by postponing her holiday. She didn't stop spending time with Tolani. They went grocery and clothes shopping together. Everything was going fine for Olawale and Tolani until a lady who claims to be Olawale's friend came visiting with her bags, which didn't seem like a day's visit. It was Olawale's ex, Kike, who was married. It didn't sit well with Mrs. Afolabi. She asked Olawale and Tolani, but didn't tell her the truth. Instead, they lied that Kike was their friend. What is she doing here? Your mother would know. I thought she was married, Tolani demanded answers. My mother won't know unless you tell her. And yes, we are back together, Olawale replied. Tolani, who was already falling for Olawale, became sad. Olawale doesn't sleep in the room anymore. He now sleeps in the guest room with Kike. He doesn't eat her meal anymore. He doesn't talk to her anymore. And he spends time with Kike in his study, all lovey-dovey. One morning, Kike accused Tolani of stealing her man and called her all sorts of names. Mrs. Afolabi, on saying this, sat Tolani down to know what was really going on. Tell me, why are you fighting with your friend? Mother, she's not my friend. She's Olawale's ex. She was married but recently divorced. Olawale found out about it a day before you arrived. I am just a maid. I'm sorry for deceiving you. Do you love my son? Mrs. Afolabi asked. If you love him, then fight for it and make him yours. I will support you and give you all my blessings. I love him, but he doesn't love me. Tolani went to her room, packed her bags, crying, and left. Mrs. Afolabi tried stopping her, but she eventually left. After Tolani left, Kike and Olawale continued their love. Mrs. Afolabi wasn't happy seeing the situation. Kike didn't stop asking Olawale for lots of money, clothes, shoes, and bags. One afternoon, while Mrs. Afolabi was walking through the hallway of their luxurious mansion, she overheard Kike talking to someone on the phone about duping Olawale. After Olawale and Kike went on a date, Mrs. Afolabi planted a sound recorder in their room, and after a few days, Mrs. Afolabi removed the recorder and gave it to her son to listen to it. Kike, where are you? Are you still married? So you are trying to dupe me with your husband? I thought you were divorced. Kike wanted to lie, but everything in the sound recorder already exposed her. She hurriedly packed her bags and left the house. Olawale knelt before his mother. I am so sorry for lying to you. I didn't want to disappoint you and Dad, and I wanted the company too, since Dad is retiring soon. Mother, do you know where Tolani is? Do you have her contact? I do, but I won't give it to you because she has moved on, his mother replied, shaking her head. After so many pleas, his mother gave him the address to Tolani's store. He left for the place immediately, and on getting there, he saw that she was doing very well for herself. He got on his knees and apologized. Tolani forgave him and they sealed it with a kiss. They lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please like the video, share with your family and friends, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap on the notification bell for more interesting stories like this one. Goodbye.